Today we want to show you how to set up the EQ on the DDX9902 Kenwood Excellent.
That's right, so stay tuned, here it comes. Alright, so we have the Kenwood set up. It's got a cool 7-band EQ and a bunch of other features. We're going to take some time and show them all to you.
Okay.
So let's get to it. First thing you're going to come to is this guy right here is the standard home page. You're going to make sure you're on a source. And the one thing you have to remember about the Kenwood is each source gives you the ability to have a different EQ setting. So it's called source tone adjust. So make sure you're on the source you're trying to adjust at the time. And also remember, when you change sources, you're going to want to go back and adjust the EQ. And only the EQ. The crossover, the time correction, and all those things, the crossover will all stay the same. The EQ is the only variable. So right now we have it on HD. Let's go ahead and hit setup. Then we're going to go into audio. The first thing that comes up on the list is balance and fader. Who doesn't love that? From here you can adjust. You can also just touch anywhere on the screen. And if you get it all out of whack, you just hit the center button. Boom. Back at the center. It'll also show you over here the numbers. We'll go back. Next is the equalizer. Now, like we said, this has a 7-band EQ, but don't fear, it has presets. So we have natural, pop. Well, natural, which is the default, which basically looks flat. Rock, pop, easy, top 40, jazz, powerful, and then user. User is going to be the one that you get to create. So you can come down here and you can make this any way you want. Okay. Now bass extension on and off. Bass extension allows for the front and rear outputs to have a reduced amount of sub equalization added to it. So when you turn it on, that's telling it that the front and rear don't need this portion of the EQ and only to put that to the subwoofer. You also over here have your subwoofer volume control. So you can tap that up and down. Alright. It's plus 10 and minus 50. Crazy, I know, right? Alright, so we'll go back here. Oh, real quick, the frequencies that this has for adjustment, just so you know, are 62.5, 160, 400, 1K, 2.5K, 6.3K, and 16K. And how that breaks up is these guys over here are going to be what you consider your low end. These two over here are going to be what you consider your high end. And then these three guys here in the middle are going to be your mid-range. So you have bass, mid, and treble. Okay, go out of there. Now you have your loudness on and off. So it's on. You turn it off. Loudness is great if you're listening to volumes at low levels and you want some impact to the music. This will take care of that. It'll boost the highs and it'll boost the sub. And the nice thing about loudness, as you turn the volume up, the loudness will decrease, so you don't have to worry about it overdriving the speakers. Next is volume offset. Volume offset is so that if you're this allows you to level match the sources, so that if you're listening to one source that is louder than another, you can come into here and turn it up or down so that they all match. Then you have your subwoofer level, which is a redundant to the one that's in the EQ. It's just at a more convenient place. Then you have your bass boost on and off, and it has 3 levels of adjustment. Car settings. You hit enter, you come into here. Now what this allows you to do is tell it what type of car you have. So it gives you compact, full-size car, wagon, minivan, SUV, or minivan long. Because we all have a minivan long. So we'll pick full-size car. Now you can tell it where the speakers are. So if your front speakers are in the door, that's cool. Or in the rear speakers are in the rear deck or door, so you have your choices. And you have, for front, you have on dash, under dash, or door. So most cars, you're going to see front is in door and rear deck. Once you set that up, go ahead and exit out of there. Scroll back down. Speaker select. Hit enter. what this allows you to do is this is a very easy way for people that don't understand crossovers to set up the speakers. So for example, you can tell it what size speaker you have. You can say it's a factory speaker. You could say it's a 3.5, a 4-inch, a 4 3/4, a 5-inch, a 6.5, 6 3/4, 7-inch, 4x6, 5x7, 6x8, 6x9, 7x10, back to the OEM. Okay, for the rest of you, you can go into crossover. From here you could pick your gain, your frequency, and your slope. So right now it's set to, we'll go ahead and we'll pick something like 120, and we'll say, actually we'll pick 100 and we'll put it at 18 dB. And then if we want, we can reduce the output volume if it's too strong. And then we'll go back. And we can tap on this guy here and we can do the same thing. This is going to be your rear and this one's going to be your subwoofer. You can do the same thing with subwoofer. You can tell it you have no subwoofer, 6-inch, 8-inch, 10-inch, 12-inch, 15-inch, and that's as high as it goes. So then we can come over here and we can go into the crossover if we like, and we can pick, let's say we pick 80 Hertz at 12 dB, 0 gain. You have your phase, so you can play it in phase or out of phase. Exit out of that, go down again. Now, you also have time correction, which is going to be your positioning, so you pick enter. Now from here you can tell it where you're going to sit in the car, okay, and this will set up a generic time correction. If you want to be more precise, you can go into adjust, and at that point you can adjust the distance and the delay for each portion, each speaker in the car. When done properly, it'll make it sound like there's a center channel in the dash, or the main vocals coming out of the center of the dash here, even though there isn't one. DSP bypass or through. If you select the bypass, what this does is shut down all the internal processing. No EQ, no crossover, no nothing. So if you're going to go out of this into some other device, let's say maybe a bit product or a audio control product or a Helix product or whatever product, Glidden product, you'd want to select bypass to turn off all that internal equalization because you're going to use an external piece to do it. Turn it back on. Drive EQ. What drive equalization does is this allows you to, this is a noise canceling circuit that Kenwood puts into theirs to reduce road noise. Default is on. If for some reason you hear your sounds doing something funny at high speeds, go ahead and turn it off, and that may solve the problem. So the other thing that this unit has and system is going to be, going to be memory. Once you've got this all set up the way you like it, you don't want it to forget it. So you're going to want to go to setup, go to setup memory, and click enter. But from here, you can say, would you like to memorize or recall the audio and AV setup? Click lock. And what that'll do is that'll lock the settings in, keep them there. You can also hit, if you need to bring them back, you can hit yes, and that'll unlock them and bring them back into the radio if the radio should lose power. It's kind of nice. That way, if you've taken the time to do all the steps, you don't lose anything.
And that was the EQ.
That's right. So, cool. Hope that was helpful. This is another video in the many we're going to do. So if there's a feature you want to know about this, make sure you check to see if we've covered it. Chances are good we have. If you have any questions, of course, feel free to leave them in the comments and we'll get back to you.
You guys can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and of course right here on YouTube.
Have a great night and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.